Ivan, thank you for coming back and do a follow-up interview with me. Sorry about the technical error last week. Today is Saturday, November 7th, 2020. My name is SL369, and this Ivan Channeler. He's a channeler. He has been channeling higher beings, spirit guide, and angels. So today we will talk some big topics. Most importantly, we will talk about elections, a little bit about crypto, and some general question about channeling or psychic ability and things like that. So I don't know if you want to channel someone today to answer some of the questions. How would you like to do it?
Sure. Okay, sure. Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, blessings. And, here we go. So just need a second to connect. So, greetings to you. We are the Actuarians. Blessings. Blessings to your collective. The reason we are here is because I believe you're going to speak about numbers and currencies. So that's what we're here to assist you with whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Thanks for coming through.
Yes.
Yes. So we have a U.S. election like a few days ago, and it was a little bit controversial. So I want to hear your thought about it. Right now, the media just declare Joe Biden is the winner. I want to hear your text on that.
Well, it is, you can say this is elite selling out the media. So selling out your politicians, selling out your media. Some of them are just going to just, here, you can have them. We're going to disconnect our connections with them. So with your Democratic Party supposedly winning, they've kind of lost, they're on their own from what we see. They are under control, but much of the elite that fund them have kind of backed away. So they told them not to do these things, to wait, but many of them, they have so much hatred in themselves. And that was triggered by Trump, but that was done on purpose by him to really show their true sides. So as for where things are going, it's still up to the humans. It's up to the humans in the long run, of course, but some of you already have indication of where things are going. But it is also to reveal corruption. And we don't believe this. Trump was involved with it. He knew it was there, but he wasn't sure. Yes, as you can see, the corrupt elites are out for blood at this time. Those that just absolutely can't stand him are all going after him. And so he's stepping back also to let them do it. They could have done this more professionally, but there's better ways of doing voter fraud where they can actually get away with it, but this time they don't care. They've truly lost their course of action, as you can see. Yes, go ahead, please. You have a question.
Yeah, so the fraud is very obvious. Like 4 o'clock at night, in the morning, we bring in a lot of trucks and ballots and counts, and then like suddenly Trump was ahead, and then overnight till the other way. So the fraud is going on, but some people are seeing it and some other people are not seeing it. I'm talking about the average citizens. So when this case go to court, will that help awake more people up?
Yes, it's you can say it wasn't always intended to go that way, but people are making their choices, and so yes, there'll be repercussions for it. So they have no idea they're putting those that are calling, for Biden already, as they should wait actually for it all to be done legally, but they feel so There used to be like gods. Media acts like gods. Some of them, not all of them, but so when you're a godlike, you have that godlike personality. It can, as you can see, you start making mistakes. So that's what's happening at this point. So we do see a police type of group coming in to do indictments and much more than that. It just things take time. They're kind of letting the media put their foot in their mouth at this time.
Yeah, I agree with that. Talk about indictment. Will there be any accountability or anything happen to the media or Joe Biden or whoever get involved with this fraud?
There is usually, it's done quietly, such as with the Clintons. There is backlash, but it's not on the public. It's all just kept quiet. So like when the Clintons sometimes pull back out of public eye, something's going on. That's all we can say with that. So there is movement. It's just not what people are looking for. The cuffs on the hands and just all that. They're looking for information. That's why these people aren't thrown in jail. They want information from them. So it's like, that's why a lot of individuals have not had the mass arrest either. So doing things a little bit differently.
Okay. So will the media change and have more accountability after this event?
Eventually, they're here for their wake-up call. So it's going to take some time, but yes, their wake-up call is on its way, where they're never going to do the same ever again. And most likely they will be regulated in their future for this. But yes, it's like a totalitarian government or media. And there is a shadow government that's allowing this to happen also. That's funding it and keeping it going. So you have like two governments. You have your public government and your shadow government. Shadow government's playing games at this time. So, but they're also known to they'll disappear. Also, it's not like you can go to a building and knock on the door. Well, you can. That's where you used to connect with them, and then they're gone. They move around quietly.
So who are these shadow governments?
It's worldwide. It is connected to your intelligence agencies, but it's even more shadowy than that. I mean, they don't have really a name, but they're the ones that kind of run your reality as it is. Not all of it's corrupt. A lot of it is, but it is those that live underground, as you've heard, things of that sort. They don't live underground all the time, but do have bases underground. They can't hide everything, but obviously nobody has the power to go underground. Depending on what level of government you are, yes, you can, but most can't. So, at least that's where they work. They do work above ground, of course, too, but a lot of the facilities are done underground. Keep it quiet. Much of it is in Russia, which is interesting how that's going into your media, but it doesn't mean Russia is the villain. It's just perceived that way, that's all.
Very interesting. So is other country meddling with this election, such as China or other governments?
Well, you can look at the shadow government kind of like the UN. They all kind of connect to each other. So you can say all the governments are involved with this in some form or another. It's like they look at the US and say, oh, so you have something going on over there. It's like, yeah, we're taking care of it. So it's not China is the villain either, no. They all connect to each other neutrally. Yes, they might have agendas, but it's a neutral connection. There's no war. It's kind of like a global government. There's a shot. It's not a lot of people there. It's very few. So it's not like your UNN's big building and all these people show up. It's actually very few that show up.
That's interesting. Then there has been some publication on Twitter and YouTube and things like that. They said that some of the ballot is not printed in the US, it's printed in China or some other places. It's fake and fake ballot.
Yes, that's true.
Is it true?
Mm-hmm. And some in Russia too. And really? Some in Indonesia too, yes.
Oh my God.
Who's gonna notice?
What a mess.
Even your average pollster probably would not even notice either. And yes, they do put dead people on those things, yes. A lot of it's what they you know, you have a database of people that died, which, for example, someone in China or some other country can get access to that. And it's done legally, police courts, their ways. They're doing it legally the way they see it, but it's not legal overall. But to them, they don't feel like it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they're helping people. Right now, yes, they're helping people the way things are going. They know this isn't going to work, but they don't really care either, from what we're seeing. Because if they wanted it to work, they would have been a lot more subtle about it, and they're not. So.
Yeah, that's a lot more country involving in our election than I thought.
It's not all of China. It's a little bit of, yes. It's not all of China.
Yeah. Then there was a video surfaced saying that some maybe the CIA or maybe on the Trump side, they said that they were using quantum financial system, QFS, blockchain in this election, which means that you vote on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. Is it true? Or
there's some of that. There's some of the truth to that, yes. It's not, now that's the way they want to go overall. They want to do that full scale, but obviously your world is not ready for that yet. Like digitally voting, like on your phone, yes, that's the way. But which would cause even more fraud and make it even easier.
I see.
So that's one of the reasons why you're at where you're at right now. But as more people open up their abilities, as many of you are doing now, you'll be able to detect it too. So, you know, the lighter side of your universe will not let things like that go. No, they see corruption. They're going to say, open people up, let people know what's going on. Let them know the corruption. You can't let that go by like that.
Yeah, certainly. I think this event will help awake a lot of people.
That's what this is. Yeah, this is like, that hasn't been mentioned. It's like a major event on your planet. Like you have a virus event, and now you have this. So yes, it's very simple. Kind of like a terrorist attack. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Without going any deeper into that. It's very similar, but it's internal. As others have seen, it's internal on different scales.
Yeah, I hope this can really help awake a lot of people. A lot of people supporting a political party rather than the individuals. I think a lot of people has been blind by the whole system, but also the hatred toward Donald Trump. So therefore, they support the other side, even though the other side is not the angel.
Well, yes, Trump has to be the way he is. He has to fight back. That's the way he feels. I feel like if he doesn't fight, nothing's going to get done. So back in your past, the government is kind of like, even in your past, the government was more radical, or the people are more radical too, towards each other. We'll just say that for right now. And so kind of government baked into society is like, this is how things are going to be. We're going to go fight other countries, and we're going to find some way to get, humanity or the United States to agree to it. And that's been going on, but obviously Vietnam was kind of like the end of it, or part of the beginning of the end. And now it's getting much better to no wars. So the government isn't as accepted as it used to be. So.
Oh, okay. Then, so Donald Trump is already filing not charged, but they want the case to be recounted, the voting to be recounted, and go on. What do you see the end result for this elections?
Well, I feel like, yes, it will go in his favor. It's not going to be easy, but there is going to be a lot of drama. And you're just getting started with it. I feel like next week will be a lot of drama and into your next year.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because the Democrats are not going to slow down. And it's not your Democratic Party anymore. It is true. It is another a shadow government is there, a form of it. Your shadow government is also divided to a little bit more positive and to a negative, a radical side. So, and it does things to get you riled up, like Trump. It finds ways to get him to push his buttons, as you can see. So, and they use that against him. But he's always radical, he's out of his mind and all that. But they're really trying to suffocate him thinking-wise, and they're testing him mentally, as you can see, as anyone would be in that position. If you want change, if you want to be just a normal, controlled person, then that's different. But he doesn't want to be that way. He wants the American people to have more freedoms here, or keep their freedoms for that matter. But it's very difficult at this time, especially social media is muting a lot of people. That has been radicalized, and that's been taken over too. So it is similar to your Middle Ages, actually, or in medieval times. When you say anything is to go against the norms, you're gone. Luckily, at least you just get deleted off of social media. So the other ways where they did other means of muting people.
So who will be the eventual president of the?
Yes, Trump, we believe it will win. Yes.
Who will be?
Trump will win. We believe. Yeah.
Trump.
Will
he? Yeah. So will he indict anyone, or will it be any charge?
There will be, yes, a lot of backdoor dealings once again. So you will see something publicly, but much more go not public. So freezing accounts, doing many things of that kind. So expect a lot of that to occur.
Then how about Joe Biden? What happened to him afterward?
Well, technically, he's not really in his body as it is. There's other forms that are controlling him. So, but yes, he is fulfilling his Egyptian contract. He is very connected to the pharaohs, as he is one of their minions, you can say. He wants to be a pharaoh. He wants to be worshipped, actually. So for him, this is one way to do it, but it's not working out, as you can see. So it's not looking good for him. Let's put it that way.
So Fox News show a clip that maybe Joe Biden is a hologram. You know, he's not the person on the stage. Is not the real Joe Biden, right?
Well, we believe he is there physically, but his soul is not really there. So that's one way of this. He's a shadow of his former self. There is another regime controlling him. So yes, he's not even at his age. He's under a contract, so he's what they want him to. Somebody's pushing his buttons. He's completely in someone else's hands at this time. If he wasn't that way, he'd be a little bit more charismatic, a little bit more alive, even at his age. But notice he's kind of robotic, because there's something else there possessing him, you can say.
Oh, I see. Yeah, he doesn't. He does look robotic in some video and some pictures. And I think they use maybe body double or something because he looks different.
Well, there is a cloning energy that's going on, yes. On many levels, yes.
For Biden?
So, any political figure at that level is going to have a clone, even with his vice president team. Definitely. Yeah. His is a little bit more harder to operate because of his age. So the clone isn't working exactly as they'd like it to, because it's kind of breaking down, just like Hillary Clinton did in public also. Because they wanted to do what they wanted to say, and it doesn't always do that, so it starts to malfunction a little bit. Forgetting things like that. It resists. It can resist. It wants to be able to do whatever it wants. Go get married or something. Go live another life, because it's practically another soul there. But it can't. It has to do what it's told.
Very interesting. It's obvious to me, but it's not obvious to other people.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of that's why you came here, to put out your truth, stay with your truth, not worry about the rest of the people. It's also part of your awakening too, and others similar to yourself, to know that there's, as you believe more of who you are, the other realities, more of that truth will come through. And those that do not believe it, they're going to stay where they want to stay. You can stay at a low vibration. Part of the program, you have already deleted the program. You were at a different level at this time.
What program?
Oh, the third dimensional program that's going on at this time. You have deleted that, and now you're at a different level. It's kind of like you see the actors behind the veil, and others are doing the same thing. So as you allow that to occur, you go deeper and deeper, you see more and more.
Yes, I will agree.
You're not always sure that you can believe it because not everyone's seeing it. It's not physically. Well, in some ways, the fourth dimension is becoming physical for you and others, of course.
So do you think that there's a lot of people on this planet as operating from a fourth and fifth dimension?
Of course, yes. I mean, people here, yes, of course. Oh, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimension, different levels. Now, there's also stubbornness in all those dimensions too. Sometimes you wonder what dimension they're at.
I agree.
Some of them are really intelligent, even at 12th dimension. Whoa, they can be very arrogant at times, and not even know it.
Yeah, I totally get that. So one of my followers, her name is Michelle, she asked me, will there be a civil war within the US because of the election result?
A riot, maybe riots, probably. That's all. You know, it's up to humans. Not likely. I mean, people are going to do mostly the rioting. There'll be a minor version of a civil war, but nothing of guns shooting each other.
Okay.
We're here
That's
to heal
good.
that as much as possible. There's going to be uprisings here and there. Expect unexpected at this time. But not civil war. There's technically a civil war going on in society at this time, especially your poverty, those that are abductions, people, human trafficking. That's kind of a civil war. That's it. So domestic violence.
Yeah, that's good that we don't have to go to that level. That rioting is the norm these days. Is everywhere about boycotting, but civil war is not.
No. Well, what you're at is healing the family at this time, which is very difficult because family, as many know, is not very easy to be involved with. Yes, you might be open to aliens and guides and all that, but it doesn't mean your family wants to hear anything about it. So that is the next phase of the world's going into, is healing the family. For them to be at least a little bit more open-minded. They don't have to believe it, but that's also accept you for who you are also, because it's very selfish of some family members to not accept you for who you are. So there's a lot of growth to go on here.
Certainly, everyone has a lot of growth going on and challenge to overcome. So you said that this whole process may not be resolved into early, like next year. Are you talking, so from between now and early next year, will, I don't know if you know Nancy Pelosi?
Oh, yes. You know her well. Yes, she's very loud in the spirit realms, yes. Or the alien realms.
So Trump still be the president until the result. Will he be forced out of the office and things like that by?
No, because none of this, the media feels like none of this is being done illegally. That's what the media missed. You know, if the courts did it, now that's a different story. We don't see the courts doing that. So they're also saying that, it's all about the Supreme Court at this time and other legal directions. That will go through in your next week. Next week's going to be a different type of week. Your month is going to be a different type of month. As this year is going into an entire reset, as you can see. It is not like your previous years, and that's done on purpose. So your political world is going to change also, which needs a revamp also along with society. So, and this virus that's going on, it didn't have to go this way, but society kind of already has a virus called society, the mentality of society, closed-minded society, doesn't want to, part of the system. So there's a virus, kind of like, there's a program called reality, the third dimensional program, but you say there's a virus within it people are living through. So it's like sometimes these viruses that come in that you're going through right now, it's kind of like a cure. It might not seem like a cure, but some of you are saying maybe it is a cure. So
yeah.
Maybe not everybody might not agree with that.
Mm-hmm. So probably for the remaining of the time, I'll ask you a few questions about the cryptocurrency market.
Yes, please.
Yes. So I have a member, his name is Jack Smith. He asked, he would like to know, is there cryptocurrency in other civilizations or planets?
Oh, yes. Some of them are very advanced worlds. Some of them are AI worlds. We have robotics everywhere. Some worlds just start on crypto. Yes, they have like old computers, something you've seen from the 1980s, and like the gods brought them or something like that. And you just already have an internet. And some of the people are like, so yeah, some of you that's what you lived off of many incarnations. So of course you're going to go to the crypto. So many of you know exactly what you're doing. Others have no idea. So those of you that know what to do, know all the ins and outs of it, obviously have had many incarnations connected to it. And others, humans who are getting into it, and they get hacked and all of that because they're newbies. So
I see. Do they have like quantum issues with the cryptocurrency?
Yes, of course, all the time. It comes and goes, but that quantum energy, the quantum energy is there to increase the values actually, and sometimes they're to manipulate, but most of it's increasing. So other timelines are coming in to increase the value of currencies that you are connected to. So you feel the timelines that are coming in, and why you are seeing it is to help others, have some relief in this world. So financially, at least.
So civilization, are you talking about planet? Are you talking about like cryptocurrency planet?
Yes, there's many planets like that, yes. But they don't call it cryptocurrency worlds, but yes, many of our artificial intelligence planets. They've already have artificial intelligence and are connected to it. Like in their ancient times, we find ancient ruins and all of that, computer, internet. It's all for a third dimensional world. Other fourth dimensional worlds that are higher vibration already have crypto in their system. Yeah, it's some kind of monetary system, some ours. So there's many worlds. It's not just one or two. It's millions. So it's not just your planet. Obviously.
So then this technology doesn't really it belongs to other civilizations. It doesn't belong to us.
Well, it belongs to you because it was created here. So what created here belongs to your planet. But yes, other cryptocurrency, different companies are coming in. Those are different civilizations that are connected to your world. So they are coming in and sharing their energy with your planet. So it is yours. It is organically grown here, you can say. So yeah, they bring the seeds of it, and you get a download to invent these different cryptos. So yes, it is still part of your planet though. You make it unique to your world. So not every world is the same.
Okay. So. Awesome. So the current market right now is there's a lot of mainstream media, mainstream company, PayPal, Fidelity, Bank of America. They has been adopting blockchain technology. And in the future, people predicted there will be no more stock market. So, like, I don't know if you have this insight yet or not, but how big is this cryptocurrency market? I got information from my guy that it will be trillions of dollars. How large is this cryptocurrency market will be in the future?
Oh yes, it'll be trillions. But also, I mean, obviously it'll go into billions at first and go into your trillions over time, but there's always going to be a current currency that you have now, like the monetary system you have now. It's always going to have some amount of time of existence. It's not going to go away. So yes, it might blend into your crypto, but we do feel like there'll still be a physical coin until you go into a higher dimension altogether where you don't need currency anymore. But at this time, there will be crypto and the physical form of money for a very long time. So eventually there will be a time when it does go into crypto, but that will be a very, very long time. Beyond your years.
Really? Wow.
That could be in your lifetime. No.
So in the future, will there be a stock market in future commodity markets anymore?
Oh yes. That won't, it's, once again, will money eventually evaporate from your planet? A long time in your future, but for right now, it's always going to be different types of money. Until then.
Yeah, that's very interesting to hear that.
So you're here to, and those that are similar to you are here to mature it. You're part of the maturity phase, and maturing something like this isn't easy. You're making it easier for future generations. As someone just reincarnate into this world and go instantly into crypto, especially through their families, so just go directly into it. So there'll be like crypto families, people that just use crypto and not even the real money, the money that you have now. So expect
yeah.
that.
I would think that the timeline will be shorter, much shorter. Like maybe in 10 years, you know, the stock market will be gone and everything will be on digital system.
No, I think
No?
no. It's going to stay the way it is for a very long time. Now, there's timelines of possibility, yes, but unlikely to happen. People aren't ready for that type of jump in 10 years. They still need your physical. I mean, most humans are connecting to their guides and aliens and all that. Be a whole different story. But many are doing that. So, and many won't even need money, but they're not. You're not at that phase yet. Because many just want to get rid of money altogether. So just live off the energy of the earth. Don't have to eat and don't have to buy anything anymore. That's where your world is heading eventually.
I have a member, her name is LD0888. She wants to know what would cause the crypto market to rise to $1 trillion. What would, if that happened, then what happened to the US dollar?
So more people using crypto will increase it. But the dollar will still find some way to stay alive. As if eventually you'll probably find a way into cryptocurrency in due time. So now the dollar might change to another currency possibly before it goes into a crypto energy, which is a possibility, but you still have a lot of changes to do before you get to that. Meaning there'll be a dollar, a physical dollar will still be connected to a crypto dollar. So you have a physical dollar, there's actually a crypto also. So that's the same value.
So the US currency, the dollar will always there, eventually it will integrate over to blockchain?
Yes, but not for a very long time.
How long is long?
We don't see a timeline that's speaking at this time. But a long time. They're not saying. They can't reveal everything.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So the market will rise a lot in the future.
Of course.
I have a member, his name is Rosetta. Ask if the crypto market will in trillions of dollars, then what happened to the hyperinflations? Will things cost more in the future to buy?
A little bit, but no, nothing will really change. Things will go up in value. Actually, things will go down in value. Actually, that's what you're working towards. So there will be some inflation, but I feel like a lot of deflation. So it's going to fluctuate.
So it won't like cost like $100 to buy a sandwich, right?
No, don't worry about that. That's fear.
That's fear. Yeah. So then people don't have to be overly concerned because a lot of crypto investors right now, they put a lot of money into the market because they're concerned that they won't have enough money in the future with hyperinflations. Everything is rising. They feel that they need lots of money, lots of cryptocurrency, so they can protect themselves and their family. So people are a little bit concerned right now.
Well, that's once again fear. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being prepared, but there's also nothing to be fearful about either. I mean, if you feel like you need to do that, then fine. But we believe the world will reset itself. Many are because of their fear, are creating problems. No one realizes it. Now, there's nothing wrong with preparing, but some are preparing so they can go through it. And that's not an idea of preparing. Some are actually bringing those timelines, like the end of the world, they're bringing that to themselves. And some actually experience the end of the world personally. But it is good to save up if you feel like you need to. There's nothing wrong. You can always cash out in the long run if it happens.
Then another member of my, her name is May, she asked, can the collective consciousness affect crypto price? For example, I get price prediction for my guy, DGB will go to $150. And she asked me, can the collective consciousness affect the price, the future?
Yes, of course. I mean, also, you might see it at a certain price, but the collective says no. We don't want it at that price yet. So it does happen once in a while.
And once in a while, not all the time.
Why does that happen? Well, the collective, your human collective, would rather keep it at the price it's at currently for their own personal reasons. But there's so many that wanted to keep it that way. It's hard for it to budge. That will budge eventually, yes. As that one will grow tremendously, I believe they're kind of keeping it low, so more people go into it, and then eventually it'll start to hike up. So what you're seeing is true, but I don't believe it has happened yet, what we're seeing. But it will eventually. A lot of your predictions will happen eventually.
So we'll eventually get to that price.
Yes, you just gotta, long term.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because I saw that, I got it from...
oh, yes. It just sometimes you see timelines that are way ahead of what's not going to happen soon. Sometimes it takes a while to get there.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. They gave me very long-term price predictions.
Right. And those are always sometimes hard to decipher too, because it's going to be long-term. So they don't always say it is. Sometimes you have to figure it out for yourself, it seems.
Yeah.
So you have to reconnect to your guides. Is this long-term or short-term? Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you it's long-term.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling that's very long-term. They showed me. Yeah, they showed me information.
Well, it feels like your guides sometimes forget to tell you certain details at times. They actually forget. And you catch them on it because you ask them again. Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I ask them all the time sometimes.
Exactly.
I ask for update information all the time.
Yes. That's your go back and forth. Yes. It's funny.
So I have a member, his name is Vincent. He said that a lot of psychic and astrologer predicted Trump will win. And if they predicted wrong for this election, then he said that then that will sort of give him less confidence of the sky high price predictions.
Well, some things are very, not everything's going to, no one's going to get 100% in. Well, your timelines, it depends on what timeline you're on. You can be on a Trump timeline where he wins in another reality too. And this reality is not making it easy for you to see it here sometimes. Some people are on a Biden timeline at this time. So it's up to the person if they believe who they want to. It's up to the individual. They have to go through their own journey to decide. Not everything is going to be perfect. And things like the presidential election are sometimes very difficult to connect to, as anything else for that matter. And not everything's meant to be predicted correctly either. So it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like, even some is like, oh, I'm going to get this wrong, but it's part of the soul growth of of many people actually.
About that. So in March, I got a ton of price prediction, like low price. I got that from March until September, October. Beside myself, some other psychic also see that the crypto market go down.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is the crypto market has been doing a little reverse and go down. It has gone up to 50,000-ish a couple of days ago. Do you know what a collective of psychics see the price go down, but in reality the market going up?
So the same way as the presidential election, a collective is connected to it. Like your Bitcoin, for example, we'll just use that for example. Especially when you predict it anytime for that matter, the collective can easily change their minds. So if it's something major, like a major event, you might not always see it correctly for various different reasons. But the collective can sometimes change their mind in a moment's notice. I believe that's what happened. They don't always have to say why, but many of them, it will go down, but it's not yet.
And a lot of, yes. Sorry, I cut you off.
Well, many are very excited for it at this time. Yes, go ahead.
Many people are excited for it?
Yeah, people are excited for crypto, so it's rising up.
Oh, I see.
With your Bitcoin. They're just, because they're not sure about the financial markets right now. So throwing it all into Bitcoin and other things like that. So,
yeah.
So if you have a currency that you want to rise up in price, yes, you got to advertise it. Oh, put it in here. We'll save your money. We'll protect you.
Yeah.
And you have to actually guarantee it'll be protected because not everybody feels like it might be protected. As you know, through hacking and things of that sort. So.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the timeline, though the collective consciousness changed, the price drop.
Yes.
And I shift the timeline of that drop to future date because consistently for about 6 to 7 months, I got the information in my dream and from my guy, it's going down. But all the company has been getting to the market and it's changed the outcome. PayPal got in recently and some other company get into the market and more adoptions, and it's create a lot of excitement. A lot more millionaires are investing in crypto and they buying in, so it pushed the price up. But the thing is that we don't know when the timeline change.
Well, the timelines, yes, they're not always going to make themselves known. It's always going to be a mystery if the timeline shifts. That's why events can occur on your world. They're not going to give you the full details of that. Astral realms are going to keep a lot of things quiet. So you're seeing a lot of visions and astral, but they don't always come to truth in this reality. But you know that going in.
Yes.
So,
Luckily, majority of that come true. Majority of the prediction come true.
yes. That's good. Yes, that's all that matters. Yes. Because it is there to help people and find their direction. So that's all that matters at this time.
Yeah, certainly. So there has been a lot of talk about complete debt forgiveness. Do you see that will happen on a national or federal level of any kind? Like either the federal, the governments will dismiss all the debts, like student loan debts or credit card debts and things like that, or mortgage get wiped out. Do you see that happen in the US or any country?
Not this year, possibly next year. There might be some student loan debt, but not mortgage debt. If anything happens with the mortgage, it'll be next year.
Will that be on like a large scale, or that be like just a few or handful, or just some number of?
Large scale, probably.
Oh wow!
But yeah, some time for that.
So if they forgive the mortgage, then the bank, where will the bank get money to pay up the debts? I mean, debts had to come from somewhere to pay off, or it will just get right off from their book.
Most likely your deficit. Your country just go more in debt. That's all. But also other countries owe the United States money too, so that's where some of the money is coming from also. Of course, they don't talk about that. Your country is getting loans to other countries a lot, so they are getting interest on those loans at this time, so they're paying for it also.
That's awesome. If some people, many people get the mortgage forgive.
Well, it's one battle after one at a time. Yeah. That's kind of a major deal, and weaker country isn't really able to afford that at this time, but there's a possibility of some form of it, of forgiveness. Yes, of some kind of forgiveness. Let's put it that way. Like a couple months forgiveness, something more of that form as a possibility.
So only a couple months, not the whole mortgage.
Yes, it all depends. It's not, nothing's concrete on that subject, so we can't really go into full detail on that. You don't know.
Okay,
Your world has to make a decision on it, and it has that many.
Very interesting, because there has been a lot of talks, like complete debt forgiveness. So
that's not likely. The energy from that, not likely. But many are always hoping, so there's nothing wrong with that. There's always a possibility, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it that easy just yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it sounds a little bit too good to be true.
There's a lot, yes. Is there any more questions before we go? We have to leave soon.
Yeah, so I think my last question would be, last week you said that it took DGB about 5 to 10 years for it to rise. Is that a timeline based on when they create the company, or when I predict the price?
There hasn't been a company created yet, or what is it?
So DGB has been around for about 7 years, and then it took about 5 to 10 years or so to rise to a high level.
But yeah, so it'll take 5 to 7 years possibly, yes. Or sooner than that, depending on the market, depending on how they advertise themselves and make themselves look attractive. They have to, it's up to them. So the timeline can fluctuate. They have to get people interested in it. Not many people are that interested in it. Well, some people are, but they have to make it more mainstream, and it's not being that successful. So they have to really market it in a way where people want it. So people are just don't feel it's safe. That's why. But that will clear. So they just got to keep doing what they're doing, keep advertising it. And it can't go sooner than that. The timeline is very clear. It can be a year or so where it gets bigger. So I believe there's a financier that's involved with it. It's interesting though, it might be funding it, but also feel like he's kind of holding it back in some ways too. Like it's that person's own crypto, which is interesting.
So a company is funding DigiByte?
Well, there's somebody, an individual that's in charge of it in some way, or an investor that's kind of he's advertising it, but it's almost like he wants it for himself. This is some kind of soul growth going on there. It's not malicious. It's just it just feels very personal for that person.
Could be the founder. Could be the founder of.
Yes, it could be. They're not saying. Yes, it is. It's someone that's very close to it that wants it to. Yeah, doesn't want it to lose doesn't want to lose control over it.
I see. So there is a hedge fund company I think in India. He said that he will invest like $100 million into DigiByte and bring it to Wall Street next year. Do you see that will result to anything?
Yes, it will. Yes. Whatever it happens. Yes.
Yeah, that will be amazing. He said that timeline will be January, and then 45 days later be February.
Yes, that will help out tremendously. Yes.
Oh, that will be amazing. DGB has a lot of use case. One of it, they really emphasize on security. They have their blockchain is difficult to hack. So what kind of industry will be using DigiByte for? Will be using DigiByte for?
Possibly governments, actually. If it's that secure as you say it is, it'll be probably government. Corporations somewhat, but feel like more government. Maybe in China.
U.S. government, China government?
Or U.S. government and China, or all governments for that matter, but China is a possibility. Now, if China gets involved with it, it will definitely skyrocket.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
And that's where the security comes in. As long as it's secure enough where it cannot be hacked by China, then the credibility goes way up.
I can't be hacked by China.
Yeah, people want to become popular, but are you prepared to be popular?
Who?
If the crypto wants to be popular, is it prepared to be popular? That's the thing.
Oh, you're talking about DigiByte.
Yeah, that goes to all cryptos. Is it secure enough? Now some aren't insecure and they go way up and then they get hacked.
Oh, I totally agree with that. There's a lot of crypto company get hacked. I think this is very, very good insight for DigiByte about election and cryptocurrency. It's very insightful and interesting. Thank you so much for
thank you.
Coming through.
Yes, blessings from our collective to yours.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Ivan.
All right, welcome. All
right. I hope you come by again next time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you for having me on. All right.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.